So I'm not that well versed on part 4 because I think this is where it gets into his sequel, right, Homo Deus, the scientific stuff where I think so he's got a chapter on capitalism which is really good. He's got I think the idea is that like in 1500 is when we started to use science for power. And okay, so military and science wasn't really a thing.
500 years ago. Like
Yeah.
50. So basically, like in the time of Columbus, things are
Exactly in the time
Yeah.
of Columbus, yeah. Because Columbus needed an investor. That's actually what the capitalism chapter is about. Is about Columbus needing someone to help fund his expedition, and it'll talk about how those two when the age of the scientific man dawned, so too did our society evolve to support that, and like one of the outcomes was capitalism, and because it was the way of thinking now was I don't know everything. I would like to figure everything out, and I can do that by like rigorous observation and calculation.
Yeah.
And then like all of our societal structures changed as well and evolved, evolved. I don't know, changed to support that myth, and capitalism was one of the things.
Yeah.
It's a cool chapter.
So that gets you then to the Industrial Revolution, and then that transformed everything. And
the military one was very interesting too. It's like we actually never had a scientific approach to military up until like I think up until World War One, which is crazy if you think about it. So like it's not like we weren't fighting wars, right? Like the Mongols,
we're fighting them all the time.
All the time. Like when the Chinese discovered gunpowder, they used it for fireworks.
Yeah.
It was purely by accident that 500 years later it became like the canonical warfare was first a thing.
Yeah.
You know, the Chinese like Han Dynasty didn't have like some bureaucratic office that was like, okay, what is the military use for this particular product that we've discovered, right?
Yeah.
I think the story of gunpowder is that they were trying to discover the elixir of life, some alchemists, and then like they blew themselves up. So
that sounds about right.
So yeah, like we never actually. So using science for like a destructive purpose is also like a recent phenomenon from World War One, where trench warfare was a thing, and then people were like, "Oh, how do we do this?" And that's why tanks became a thing. So, because they were like, "Oh, we can build these cool weapons."
Yeah, like World War One. If you look into like World War One, that's like the first time in like killing on an industrial scale, just like horrifying.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got those 4, and now we're kind of in the scientific revolution. We'll save Homo Deus for another
future,
episode. That Homo Deus is a book. In the last 3 years of reading, that book has probably changed my behavior or changed my outlook. One of the most.
Yeah.
It's like, I love history and everything, but like, I have to prepare myself for
the
what's coming.
future. Yeah.